It is Wednesday, June 11th, 2025, and recently Circle had its IPO. How's it going, John?
I'm good, Jack.
Good, man. How you been?
I've been okay. Um,
The market has been pretty good, I guess. Kind of boring.
well, I don't know. It's anything but boring.
I mean, as far as price action is concerned.
Maybe Bitcoin price action's boring.
Yeah, it's pretty much all of the market, though, right now.
I mean, it's only gone up 30% in like a month, so I guess we call that boring.
Yawn.
Like, I mean, just in March it was at 70,000. So I don't know. It's June and it's 100,000. So yeah, it's not boring.
I don't know, man. Boring. It's like the same place it was last week.
I mean, your life hasn't changed, right, in the last like couple weeks, maybe.
Yeah, it's true. It hadn't.
But actually, I mean, dude, it's only been yeah, April 7th. It was I was looking at the Bitcoin price chart, like let me get you an exact day here. April 9th, dude, it was 74,000. Like that wasn't very long ago.
Yeah, dude, it's like 2 months ago.
And that's like your sense of time can get kind of warped in crypto. Like mine definitely does sometimes where like a short amount of time feels like a long time because of all the shit that happened.
Yeah, there definitely can be a fire hose of information that can be foisted upon you, I suppose.
Right. Like
Or
it
you
was,
say you foist it upon yourself.
yeah, it's April 9th. It was 74,000, which is a huge move from 74,000 to 109,000 where it's at now. And it was only 2 months ago, but somehow it feels like that was 2 years ago. It feels like a long time.
Hmm.
And like you're bored already. Like it's like, I mean,
Yeah, it's like that because it's basically it's been a consolidative chop for the last week for me.
and I think that's why that's a good example of why it's important to learn technical analysis and fundamental analysis and basically everything uh besides only acting on your emotions.
You mean
I
you mean
that
investment on just emotion is not necessarily the right way to go about
man, we know a guy that insists on only investing based on his emotions. And
it? Yeah, how's he doing?
terrible.
Oh, that's not good.
But it's not his fault.
No, it never is, man. Did he hold on to his Bitcoin?
He's got some Bitcoin,
But
yeah.
did he hold on to his Bitcoin? Because he
Got
had.
more Bitcoin than I have, so I don't even want to talk about it.
I'm just wondering if he held on to it from the last time that I knew he had some Bitcoin till the time, now.
Every once in a while, and he buys it back again. He's
Okay.
got so much money, it doesn't even
I
matter.
was just wondering if his cost basis is continually creeping up.
Oh, I don't know what he comes that is. I don't know. I mean, let's not worry about him. Let's worry.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, we just went on a little rant about time and price in crypto and how it feels. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like crypto, being heavily invested in crypto is an emotionally difficult task
Can be, for sure. Yeah.
because it's volatile.
Hmm.
And if you're heavily invested, where it's a significant percentage of your life savings or a significant amount of money, period, it's can be difficult to deal with.
Hmm.
And that's why I also invest in stocks and gold, even though crypto outperforms them both for the most part, um, is to not to not have all of my life savings on the crazy train. I
Right.
want some of it on the safe train and some of it on the like the normal train, right? Stocks are the normal train. Gold is the safe train. Crypto is the crazy train. And you can find out about that by listening to Ozzy Osbourne.
Yep. Yep. Well, and yeah, I would uh, I would definitely agree that crypto is the crazy train. Of course, I don't know, man. They all kind of feel like the crazy train from time to time. Just
Well, and
one of them's going a little faster.
that's the interesting thing. So, like, supposedly crypto was supposed to start trading more like stocks as crypto matured. And it has a little bit. Like Bitcoin is definitely less volatile than it used to be. But the interesting thing is stocks have become more volatile since crypto became a thing. And I'm guessing a lot of that is that plebs, peasants like us, have access to direct trading apps now, like Robinhood and TD Ameritrade and
Sure,
whatever.
we're degenning up the joint.
Yeah, and so because we have that ability in our hands now, we are making everything more volatile. Whereas before it was just the TradFi bros like calmly like accumulating.
Hmm.
Now we're throwing curveballs everywhere into the system. Um, but none of that is what we were going to talk about today. Today we were going to talk about Circle. And I think a good thing to have on the screen. Do you want me to share screen or do you want to run the screen?
I've got the screen up. I've got those two articles we mentioned, or that you.
Before we before we even go to an article, let's go to CoinGecko. And I can't see your screen, which sucks. Can is
Give
there
me
a way
one.
that
Yeah, give me 1 second.
yeah.
I will share. I will share. I will share. Which one is the one that we want? Which one is the one that we want? That's the one. Ta-da.
Okay, loading. And then you can go to either CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, whichever you prefer.
Now I've
I
got CoinGecko right here.
Yeah, they're basically the same thing. This is personal preference, I think. So whenever that loads up, there we go. And then let's just look at like the top. Let's just scroll down a little bit so we can see everything like in the top 10 maybe. That's good enough right there. Okay, so actually scroll up so we can see the numbers at the top, like total market cap and all that. Yeah, it's hard to get everything in, but that's good enough.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I was trying to figure out what you mean. This is
Well, I want to so see how right they stop right there. Perfect. You
okay.
got it right, perfect right where it is. That's don't even move it. That's absolutely perfect. Okay. So total market cap of crypto is 3.5 trillion. This is in the top left corner. Right. Total market cap of Bitcoin is 2.1 trillion. The total market cap of gold. Oh, open up a new tab real quick. Open up a tab for 8marketcap.com. Yeah, that's it, infinitemarketcap.com.
Okay,
Eight sideways.
I got
So
it.
yeah. And then yeah, you just look at like the top 5 or 10 assets there. Okay, so that's good. So gold is 22 trillion. That's all I wanted to check. Let me go back to and you can see Bitcoin in the same Bitcoin's at 2 trillion. You can see it in the same list. Oh, you
Mm-hmm.
scroll, there, oh, don't scroll back up.
Ah.
There, gold and Bitcoin.
Yeah, I can't because of the thing. So if for people watching, like it covers it when I scroll up any or scroll down any further, so they can't see
Okay.
gold.
Okay. Well, gold is 22 trillion. We can go back to CoinGecko. There's some stocks on there that can be
Mm-hmm.
informative to understand the market cap, but we're not talking about stocks today. Well, we are. We're talking about one stock, and that's Circle. And there's Circle on there it is.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not Circle. That's the USDC stablecoin, which has a market cap of what was that 81 trillion?
61.
61 billion.
That is 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. So
Yeah. So that's a lot of ones and twos and threes, but that's 61 billion, I think. The numbers are really small on my little phone.
mm-hmm.
I'm still a weirdo who uses my phone for all this stuff. Anyway, um, so that's the that's the market cap of the dollars that USDC is holding and putting into the crypto economy. And then we can look up at number three. There's Tether. Tether's at 155 trillion. So I would
155
say
billion. It looks like.
billion. I'm sorry, I keep messing it up. So 61 billion for USDC, 155 billion for Tether. Now that makes Circle USDC about 2.5 times Like if at 2.5x, it would equal the size of Tether, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's is that a third? No. How many? It's 40% maybe.
Yeah,
Like what
40,
percentage?
45%, something like that.
It's about because half would be 80 billion. We're 77
So then,
billion, 77.5 billion would be half.
so maybe
Uh,
more like 39.5%.
Calculator instead of kind of let me get calculator out
It
here.
doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not. It
No,
doesn't
so
matter.
yeah, it matters.
Okay.
I'll show you what matters on that. So, what's the market cap of? I'm on a different screen. What's the
What do you
market
need?
Tether market cap?
155,
And then what's the USDC?
61, and some change on each of those.
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry about the change. All right, so it's 39%. Right?
That's yeah. Hey, I was pretty close. 39 and
Yeah,
a half is what I said. Final.
yeah, and it's actually 39.35.
Uh-huh.
We're very
Ah.
close.
If it was the price is right, I'd have still lost for going over, but I got pretty close.
Yes, much closer than I did. So yeah, we'll call it 40% just to not have too many headaches about it. So it's 40% the same size. So now we need to know what the income, like revenue and profit of Tether is, which is measurable and on the internet for us to find out. So I think if you open Grok or ChatGPT or Google or something like that and ask that computer entity what the monthly income of Tether is, that's what I want to know.
I'm sorry, were you asking me to look something up?
Yes.
Monthly income of Tether?
Yes. And profit, where does profit? Or you can even ask the profit and revenue.
Teacher.
Yeah. Oh, Tether has no A.
I know.
Okay.
Tether just obliterated its former net profit record.
Yeah, so might as well just click on that.
Tether transparency.
Sure. I mean, I think we should use AI because it will just give us the answer without having to click through links. But that first
AI overview is not
block,
available for this search.
yeah, just click that first Blockworks thing. That'll
Okay.
tell it. You know, it should be in there somewhere. All right. So, what's it say? Senior numbers. We got
Yeah,
four.
Tether tailed an all-time high net profit of 4.52 billion for the first quarter, according
Okay.
to Wednesday attestation report by auditing firm BDO.
Okay.
Tether's first quarter net operating profits were 1 billion, driven by its U.S. Treasury holdings.
So that's operating profits. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know enough about traditional finance to know the difference between operating profits and regular. Maybe there's total profits and operating profits are only part of their profits. Right? Does that sound right?
That sounds right. Yes.
Okay, so then it says in 2023 during the same period they made 2.85 billion.
Yes, that's its former record of three of
Right.
quarterly growth is what you want.
Okay. So it's fluctuating.
Yeah, correct. This is
Well,
from year over year, it's not quite doubled.
right. So it'd be nice to just be able to see a chart or something.
Sure
But
would, but
uh,
where would you go to find that?
well, probably Grok or some other AI. But we'll worry about that. We can just use these numbers for now. So let's say it makes 4.5 billion a quarter. Let's say that's that's a new high. But let's pretend that'll
That
flatten.
becomes their normal, sure.
If that's the normal, then what's that times four
Uh, yeah,
or divided by three?
18 something.
Okay, so they make 18 billion in a year, and Circle's making 40% of 18 billion in a year. What's that? 40% of 18
I
billion.
I can't do that
Uh,
in my head.
I have a calculator here. So let's see, zero point 0.4 times 18, 7.2. So let's say Circle makes $7.2 billion a year
Chump
in profit.
change, really.
Right, let's just pretend that all else equal, if if Tether makes as much profit as Circle, and my guess is Circle is a much more inefficient company because they have a lot more hoops they have to jump through. Tether can just be like outlaw city, so that Circle might not make, even though they have 40% as much stablecoins as Tether does, they might not make 40% as much profit. But let's pretend they do. So they're making, what did I say, 7 billion a year, 7.2 billion. So if they're making 7.2 billion a year, then the next thing I want to look up is the current market cap of Circle.
Current market cap of Circle.
Yeah, which I can look up on
Isn't
my
it
own.
61?
It is 25 billion.
Oh.
So the market cap is 25 billion.
What's the market cap I'm looking at here for
I don't know.
USDC?
That's the market cap of the actual stablecoins.
Oh, and what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the market cap of Circle, the company, which recently IPO'd on the stock market.
Okay, you want to know what their
I
market
already
cap
know
of
what it
their
is,
stock. Okay.
and I already know what it is. I just looked it up. It's 25 billion.
Okay.
So if Circle, the company on the stock market, is worth 25 billion, and if they make 7 billion a year in profit, that's a price earnings ratio of 3.5, which is fucking awesome. Time to buy more fucking Circle. So the ticker is CRCO, not financial advice. I'm just an Uber driver. But from what I can tell, buying Circle right now at this price, even though it's already gone up 2.5x or 3x, I think the IPO price was $31 a share, and it's sitting at what's it sitting at? It's sitting at $117 a share. So it already damn near 4x. Definitely 3x at least. Like it already 3x at least. This article's 2.5x. I don't know how old this article is. It's from yesterday or today, maybe.
June 10th, 4:55 p.m. Central Standard.
June 10th was yesterday. So this article's a day old, says 2.5 times. It's already went up another, how much should it go up today? 10% today. Look at the chart on Robinhood. It's got a better chart than TradingView for Circle. Let's see. Look at the Robinhood chart. Says it's gone up 277% in the past week, which it launched on June 5th. Listing was on June 5th. So it's a week old. It went from $31 immediately to 100 and some dollars, sitting at 116 right now. But what matters is the market cap. The market cap's at 25 billion. And if they make as much profit as Tether does, then the price earnings ratio would be 3, which is a really low price earnings ratio, which means this is going way higher. But their profit is not the same as Tether's. Tether is a very efficiently run company with about 12 employees, and it could be off by half a dozen. They might have 6 or 18 employees. I'm not sure how many employees Tether has, but it's like literally like a couple handfuls of people, and that's it. And they're operating out of, I don't know, Hong Kong or Singapore or some shit like that, where they don't have to deal with American regulations and regulators and tax people, and they don't have to deal with that bullshit. So Tether is always going to have a higher profit margin than Circle ever will. So if Circle had the same profit margin, this is very drastically underpriced. So really, the only thing to find out is what is their actual profit. And I think we have to wait on that. I mean, there are some numbers available on TradingView, but they're really low. Let me look at them. The numbers given by TradingView, and maybe I should share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Should I do that?
Sure.
Share my... All right, I'll do it here.
Trying to stop. I have to stop sharing first.
Okay.
But it's taking a second here. For some reason, my system is running slow today. And for some reason, it's still not done sharing. Sweet. Super fun. Sorry about this.
Okay.
Man. Oh, no. Oh.
What's going on?
Oh, nothing. I don't. I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, everything's taking forever.
Running that Zoom in that. Oh, you're back. I hear you again.
Okay, good. I must have stopped working for a second there.
Yeah. Should we just restart the Zoom? Maybe that'll be easier.
No, no, that's
Okay.
okay. I
Just drop the signal for the stream.
hmm,
Well, you can look it up yourself. I'll show you how to look it up. Go to tradingview.com.
sorry.
This
I'm still. My whole thing is just.
whole computer's frozen.
Well, it's not frozen, but it's definitely doing a lot of thinking, and I don't know why.
Okay. Well, if it ever stops thinking, go to TradingView. In fact, I think you have TradingView up in the upper left corner already.
I
You
have
got,
I have Bitcoin. The
yeah.
Bitcoin chart is up there. Give me 1 second here, though. I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure
no worries.
something out. Okay, this should
Uh,
have.
well, for the audience, I'll just do an audio only version for a minute. So it looks like they give TradingView gives the quarter four. Oh no, actually it gives quarter one of 2025 and quarter one of 2024, which is weird. It also gives years of 2022, 2023, and 2024 for Circle. So 2022 was a bear market year. Circle did really bad. Let's not worry about that. 2023, Circle did 1.45 billion in revenue, but only 267 million in net income profit. It's 18% profit margin. 267 million is much less than 7 billion. And in 2024, they did 1.6 billion in revenue and 155 million in net income. Again, way less than Tether. Even in the last quarter, first quarter of 2025, it's the most recent data. Their whole revenue is only 578 million, and net income is 64 million. That's why I think these numbers don't make sense because they're so much less than Tether's. Like it's so much less. There's something going on, and that's the thing, right? Like I don't know if Tether's numbers are accurate. I don't know if Circle's numbers are accurate. Here, I have another way to figure out the income. Are you still on the stream?
I am, yeah. I'm still trying to
Okay.
figure out why my Zoom is frozen, so I might actually have to restart
It says
the
change
Zoom.
your name has started screen sharing.
I can't stop screen sharing. That's the problem.
Okay. Well, then if you can't stop, can you go to
No, I
Coin?
can't. So I'm gonna close the Zoom, and we're gonna
All
go back into it in just a second.
right.
I'm gonna pull up another window of it. Hold on before I do, so that I can get back into it quickly.
Okay.
Is that
Trying to.
showing? No.
We've gone blind,
No.
which I'm okay with, but it makes it more of a podcast than a video stream.
Yeah.
Kind of need video for it to be a video.
I agree. It is kind of important.
Audio is nice, but video is better for video.
Okay. I'm going to close the program. Sorry if you guys can still hear me. I'm not sure if you can. Okay, there's the other one. All right.
I left and came back, but I don't think that fixed anything.
It did. It's working now better. I am no longer sharing my screen, so
Oh, sorry.
you can share.
Okay, I'll share it. That'll make it easier for this next part. Let's see, screen. Start broadcast. All right, it should start in about 3 seconds.
Which I'm watching to see where the data goes, so I may have to do something different with our feed, but give it a second here and let it go. Yeah, well, it's not showing that at all on my end. It's showing that in the Zoom, but I'm going to have
Hmm.
to change the Zoom on the... So just hold up a sec so that I can make it so that everybody else can see that.
Okay.
Okay. You can see that now, I think. I hope.
Okay.
Looks good.
Uh,
Good enough.
Let me go to Gecko. Okay. So Tether's market cap is 155 billion. Circle's is 61 billion. We can forget about Tether for a minute. So if Circle's market cap is 61 billion, let's go to the calculator. Here's my calculator. Too many apps on my phone. If it's 61 billion. Yeah, it's 61 billion. Can you still hear me?
I can.
All right, you went silent for a minute, but maybe it's just background noise. All right, so 61 billion. Let's say, okay, so theoretically, the way these stablecoin businesses make money is they take our dollars, in this case, 61 billion. Circle takes 61 billion of peasants' dollars and converts them to um, government bonds, U.S. government bonds, treasury bills, and gives and sits on those, and then gives the peasant an equal number of dollars of USDC tokens.
They earn a 5% yield on that
Right. So
bond.
meanwhile, the tokens are not gaining yield that the peasants hold, you and I, but those government bonds that Tether and Circle hold, those get yield. And I'm not sure what the interest rate is. It's about 4%, I think, right now, 4 or 5%, something like that.
It depends on if we're talking short or long-term bonds. But yeah,
Well, let's pretend
right
it's
now
short.
the yield curve is inverted, so you've got short-term bonds that are paying higher interest rates than long-term bonds, and that's part of the problem we're in. But anyway,
If well, if they were smart, they would do it in short term, right? So let's just say,
I don't know that they get to choose,
oh,
but maybe they do. I
they
don't know
definitely
how it works.
get to choose up until now. Well, Circle probably has rules now. Now that they're on the stock market, Circle's gonna have all kinds of rules. But for sure, Tether has always done whatever the fuck Tether felt like.
Unless the government won't sell them the short-term bonds, right?
Well, they buy them on the market, on the
Okay.
bond market. They
Okay.
don't buy it directly from the U.S.
I
government.
wasn't sure because sometimes that is the case.
No,
I just
these Tether is for sure not controlled by the United States. It might be controlled by Cantor Fitzgerald now, which is owned by Howard Lutnick, but the Commerce Secretary of the United States. But Tether used to be an independent company doing all kinds of crazy things. But typically, their current business model is to sit on. Let's switch from Tether to Circle. Circle's sitting on $61 billion of cash. They don't stay sitting on the cash. They convert it. And I don't know how they convert it. I don't know how the bond market works. I don't mess with that garbage, but they buy that garbage. And so they buy $61 billion worth of treasury bills or short term bonds or whatever they're called and earn 4 or 5% interest. We'll call it 4% to be conservative. We'll call it 4%. So what's 4% of 61 billion? Well, let's find out. It's 2.4 billion. So I think it would be reasonable to assume that the revenue of Circle for 1 year would be $2.4 billion. Revenue, not profit, revenue, right? Because they still have to pay all their costs. This is not paying any taxes or costs. This is just they took the 61 billion of the plebs money, shoved it into treasury bonds, and this is the interest in 1 year, right? So that's the revenue, and we already see profit margin on, if we go back here, this is on TradingView for Circle CRCO, the New York Stock Exchange listed stock. There's the market cap right there at the top of the screen if you can see it, 25 billion. Um, Here's some of their income numbers down here. So for first quarter of 2025, revenue is 578 million. What did I say it would be? 2.4. Well, that explains it right there. That's actually pretty accurate, right? Because they're 500 and 578 million for a quarter, times four would be pretty close, would be over, it'd be about 2.2 billion. So this is actually what I did was actually a really accurate calculation, turns out. So their net margin is only 11%. So they're squandering 89% of their money on themselves, their taxes and salaries and
Whatever else they keep their
whatever.
overhead.
So that's really bad because their net margin should be high. I can guarantee you
They want
Tether's net
30%. They want
I,
30%.
I can guarantee you that Tether's net margin is much higher. Their net margin percentage is probably 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% because they only have like 12 employees. And that's why these are different companies. So I'm all of a sudden much less bullish than I was 20 minutes ago because these numbers are I was worried that these numbers were not accurate, but now that I've done kind of my own math on it, they're accurate. So Tether's only making 64 million in a quarter, which means times four. Let's call it 64.79 million as it says right there on the screen. We'll multiply that by five.
240, 220, 260 million.
Yes, 259 million. Uh so that would be their year profit. And if we're talking a 25, that's million. So if we're talking a 25 billion market cap, so that's a thousand PE. That's really bad. That's way overpriced. That's not good. They're just not making that much money, right?
Do
They're,
they only hold U.S. Treasury bills, or do they diversify their holdings into other assets as well, like Bitcoin and uh, what's like I don't know if they hold gold. I'm sure they don't, but I'm wondering if they do anything else except U.S. Treasury bills.
you know, Grok says 20% of USDC reserves are held in cash, and the remaining 80% are U.S. Treasuries managed by BlackRock. Okay, so they're
So that's it.
80%.
Okay.
Yep, they're 80% U.S. Treasuries managed by BlackRock, 20% cash.
Yuck. Yeah, I don't know then if they're all that great of a buy. I mean, they'll probably still go up for a while, but I'd be looking to trade them rather than hold them.
Yeah, I'm looking now. I'm looking at okay, so like I just jumped into the stock because I was like, oh my God, Circle's
It's
going
gonna
public,
go up, right? Yeah,
and I
it's
bought
gonna
it.
go up.
Yeah, I was right, and I'm up on it, right? And I didn't invest a lot anyway. I just invested a little bit. But now that I've done all this homework live on the screen here, like this income's not great, right?
And I'm
Um,
just wondering if there's any other way to like that they have to increase their income, but it doesn't sound like if they don't have any other assets other than U.S. Treasuries and cash,
no,
like that's just
no,
all deplete. That's all just actually losing value.
and with right, and with well, it's not losing value because they got it. It's someone else's dollars,
Yeah, but
right?
dollars are losing their value.
Well, okay, so here's what Tether does. Tether, here's what Tether claims that they do, and who knows what they really do, because Tether is very sketchy, kind of, but more legit now than ever before. Um, Tether's
Very sketchy, but they're
here,
doing better.
here's Tether's plan, right? But then Howard Lutnick is in it, like it's probably fine. But so they take their money, the cash, they buy the treasuries, and then so now that you're holding treasuries it's you're getting a profit, right?
hmm
With the profit, they buy Bitcoin and gold.
They do.
Yes. So
So
with
they so
their
they are
actual,
holding additional.
yes, above, but only their reserves above and beyond their customers' money. Their customers' money is all cash and treasury bills, just like Circle.
Okay.
Unless they have some of it overlapped, where some of the gold and Bitcoin is meant for their.
Oh, that's Tether though you're talking about, right? You're
Yeah.
not talking Circle. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Circle
I knew
holds.
that Tether held other things.
In fact, we can ask. Well, Grok just told us there's no gold or Bitcoin here. It's 20% USD cash and 80%.
Yeah, not at Circle, correct.
Right.
But
At
I knew that Tether definitely did hold some Bitcoin.
Yes, Tether holds a shitload of Bitcoin. In
Hmm.
fact, that's the next question. What what's that?
No,
Something made a
no,
big noise.
yeah, that was my phone barking at me.
All right. What are Tethers? Oops. Let's see. What are
Mm. Wait, did you just confuse them?
I did. That's fine. Assets, yeah, 157 billion. So that sounds about right. 136 billion is the token, or oh, so Tether tokens in circulation is 143 billion. So you notice they have 13 billion extra dollars, and then the access reserve buffer is 7 billion, right? Um, they have 113 billion in U.S. Treasuries.
8 billion in BTC.
They have unknown amount of cash, right? So they're supposed to have the difference in cash, but nobody knows how much cash they have. At least Grok doesn't know. But they have $5 billion in gold. They have 50 tons of gold, which is amazing. I wish I had 50 tons of gold. Fucking
I
cool
don't.
stuff. Dude, it'd be fucking cool. Like Scrooge, I'd be like Scrooge McDuck swimming in the gold coins in my vault.
No, you wouldn't. Shit would hurt.
That's accurate, very accurate. Um, Bitcoin valued at eight billion. So they have $8 billion of Bitcoin and $5 billion of gold. Right. So they have.
Yeah, you know where they can keep that Bitcoin? On a thumb drive. You know where they have to keep that gold? In a vault in a mountain under a volcano.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's definitely an issue.
And then they gotta have armed guards that they can trust to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, you're introducing a lot of
Attack vectors.
yeah, pain in the ass vectors, aggravation dollar problems. Yeah, so they have their main reserves in treasuries and cash, just like Circle, but we don't know how much.
Hmm.
We know their treasuries, we don't know their cash.
Right.
And then they have 5 billion gold and eight billion in Bitcoin. So that's how Tether manages their money, is their own money is in Bitcoin and gold, but their customers' money is in treasuries
Sure.
because their customers' money is in cash, right? So they're
Allegedly.
right. So yeah, so now I'm looking at Circle's finances and I'm not impressed, right? That if they're making, this sounds about right. Like the revenue sounds accurate compared to what we just learned. So their net income 11% margin is probably accurate for this company. And so if their net income is only 65 million a quarter, and then for, I think we did the calculations, yeah, 64.79 million per quarter times 4 quarters is only 259 or 260 million dollars. So if they had a price earnings ratio of 10, they'd be valued at 2.6 billion. If they had a price earnings ratio of 30, they would be at 2.6 times 3 is 6 plus, it'd be 7.8 billion, which is probably about what they IPO'd at market cap wise. So yeah, so like basically everything that they've gone up now is just like, this is their chart, and this is on logarithmic. I can put it on not logarithmic and normal. It's about the same. This is the 4 hour chart. This is, I can put it on to a 1 hour chart. Oops, 1 hour. Yeah. Everything. It's pretty overvalued. the only way this valuation makes sense is if Circle's stablecoin market cap increased. And you know what? It will. But Circle's market cap, stablecoin market cap, the USDC market cap would have to increase by a lot for the, because right now the price earnings ratio is sitting at 100 to 1. It's at 100 to 1. It's 25 billion. It's their market cap is market cap is 25 billion and their profit is 250 million. So it's 100. They're sitting at 100 to 1 price earnings ratio right now. Which, like, there's a lot of other stocks I invest in that do have 100 to 1 price earnings ratios. Like some of these stocks right here, like pretty sure Broadcom is 100 to 1. Yeah, Broadcom's at 91 for their price earnings ratio. And Broadcom's like the 12th largest stock. If we go back to let's go back to infinitemarketcap.com. Jesus Christ. Broadcom should be like number 12 or something on the list.
Yeah, it is.
Bullseye.
I can't see the numbers, but
Yeah, it's right here. Broadcom number 13. Broadcom's number 13 on the list.
yeah, we can't see the numbers on your phone.
Oh, what about here? Is it because the resolution's bad or what?
No, it's just cut off. It's just we see the stars and that's it.
The star.
There's like a star to the left of each of the stock symbol,
Yeah.
and that's all we can see is a star next to the symbol. We don't see a number associated with the space and line.
What about now?
No, now we can just see some of the market cap stuff.
Why is it zoomed in so?
It's not. It's just because you rotated your phone. The view doesn't change on my end because it does when it does on yours.
Right, but I can't see what you're seeing. I only see what I'm seeing.
But I'm just saying because you turn the phone sideways, the only thing that we can see is market cap information: 1.703 trillion to 64.62 0.02%. And now I can see 1.606 trillion,
Yeah,
664, 48%.
yeah, you're reading off the numbers for Saudi Aramco.
Okay, that's what we can see is those three columns.
Right, but do you see the rows? Do you
Nope,
see broad?
it's clipped off because you turned your phone sideways. So when you're vertical, we can see everything on your screen, but when you turn
Okay.
sideways, now I can see everything on your screen.
Do you see Broadcom now?
Yep.
Okay. So and there's Bitcoin up there. Anyway, so Broadcom's sitting at a 1.2 trillion dollar valuation, approximately 91 price earnings. I mean, what I'm saying is price earnings ratio doesn't really matter. Like price earnings ratio is crazy. Like look at Tesla. Tesla's price earnings ratio is 179. Nvidia's is going to be much less. I really like Nvidia here. It's at 46, right? Quanta Services, their price earnings ratio is more reasonable. It's at 50, I think. What is it at? 56. Um, Broadcom is 91. Palo Alto
So
is.
what is the point though? I mean, what are you working on getting to with the?
I'm trying to figure out if Circle is going to go up from here or down from here or stay the same. And one of the ways I'm trying to figure that out is to figure out what the current price to earnings ratio is. And it might even just say it right here. No, see, it doesn't give a price to
It's
earnings
too
ratio.
new.
Right. So I'm figuring out the price to earnings ratio. Right.
Okay,
Because we know
but to what end? You just said it doesn't matter that much.
it matters a little bit. It doesn't not matter.
Okay.
Matter as much because here's the thing. Like price earnings ratio only shows you what the price earnings ratio is right now. It doesn't show you what the future market cap is going to be, and it doesn't show you what the future earnings are going to be. It only shows you what the present moment market cap and earnings are. So you got a company that doesn't change much. Its price earnings ratio is probably going to be low because it's going to be like a reasonable price earnings ratio, which I think 10 to 15 to 20 is a reasonable range of price earnings ratios. Even 20 is considered high, I think. But almost every one of these stocks I invest in, I was showing them to you. We got maybe that was too much, but too much irrelevant information. But most of the high growth, like AI, cutting edge technology stocks I invest in have price earnings ratios of 50 or 100 or even more because their earnings are expected to go up a lot. So let's say, for instance, that 10, let's just pretend that 10 is a normal price earnings ratio. And if the company has a 100 price earnings ratio, that means they're 10 times, 10x overpriced. But if they double their earnings in the next year or whatever, next quarter, next year or whatever, if their earnings double, their profit, but when I say earnings, I mean profit. When their profit doubles, now their price earnings ratio will be 50, right? As their market cap stays the same, but their profit doubles, their ratio, the price earnings ratio will go from 100 to 50. And then if it doubles one more time, the next quarter, next year, if their profit doubles again, now their price earnings ratio is 25. So it only took two doublings of profit to get the number down to a more reasonable number. And if it doubles one more time after that, their price earnings ratio goes from 25 to 12 and a half, which is definitely like normal price. So if a company is trading at a 100 price earnings ratio, it's already priced in at the current market cap that their earnings will double three times or at least twice, which is kind of crazy. Um, and that's where Circle's at. Circle's at about 100 price earnings ratio right now at the current price. We can expect Circle's yearly profit to be about $0.25 billion dollars, and the current market cap is $25 billion dollars. So that's 100 to 1 mark. That's 100 price earnings ratio, which is expensive. And their earnings, their market cap would have to stay the same. I'm talking about the stock market cap. The stock market cap would have the same. Their stablecoin market cap would be, that's how they increase their income, is by increasing their stablecoin market cap, because that's where they have their treasuries, right? Their treasury, the interest in the treasuries is their profit.
Right.
So the stablecoin market cap would probably have to double for their income to double. And if their income doubles and the stock price stays the same, now their price earnings ratio goes from 100 to 50. And if the market cap of the Circle stable, so that's really what you're gambling on. Or when I say gambling, I mean investing. You're betting on their Circle's USDC stablecoin market cap to grow. And as the stablecoin market cap grows, their profit should grow by the same proportion. And as they're right, so it's already priced in for a few doublings though, so it's expensive. The stock is definitely expensive at 100 price earnings ratio. But so is Tesla, so is Broadcom, so is Palo Alto Networks. Their price earnings ratio 112. Right, these are all good solid companies that I invest in right now. Now, First Solar is interesting. First Solar's price earnings ratio is super low. It's 13.99. And oh my God, that's a steal. But also, like, they're only up 260% in 5 years. And how does that compare? Well, Palo Alto's up 400% in 5 years. Broadcom's up 700% in 5 years. Quanta's up 800% in 5 years. Nvidia's up 1,500% in 5 years. Tesla's up 400% in 5 years. Bitcoin is up 1,000% in 5 years. Ethereum's up 1,000% in 5 years. Solana's up 28,000% in the last 5 years, right? So like gold's only up 94%, but you'll see that most of that's recent. And I think in the next 5 years, gold is going to go up by more than 94% in the next 5 years. Is it going to go up 1,000%? Probably not. Um, but I think gold is going to do well. And here we go, circle, right? Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my
So
favorite
now,
chart.
yeah, this is the 5 year chart of circle. It's just one candle because they've only been on for 5 days. Um, but so that's why I look at these companies. Like here's Arista Networks, their price earnings ratio is more reasonable, 39, right? They've gone up 500% in the last 5 years. Palantir is the best. Can you? I just want to ask you, Jack, off the top of your head, what do you think Palantir's price earnings ratio is?
I have no idea what the price to earnings ratio is. No, zero. No, like I couldn't even venture a guess.
579. So you're close. But they've gone up 1,200% in the last 5 years, and they just keep going. Dude, I sold some Palantir at 132 because I thought, well, it's got to be topped out, right? Like they're up 1,200%, and like the price earnings ratio is 600. Like this is the yearly candle chart. Like it's ridiculous. Like down here at the bottom, it was $5 or something, $6, and now it's 136. Um, Here's quarterly candles, right? You see the RSI. The quarterly RSI is at 90, right? The monthly RSI is at 93. The weekly RSI is at, oh, it's cooled off a little bit. So that's the other crazy thing.
well,
Somehow the week,
well, let's get back to Circle though,
right? What I'm
because
what I'm trying to say is these companies have price to earnings ratios ranging from 14 for First Solar to what do we say 580 for Palantir.
yeah,
There's a
something
wide
absurd.
a wide range of price earnings ratios, and a lot of them are between like 40 and 100, right? Like Nvidia and I think Arista were around 40, and Tesla, Broadcom, Palo Alto are all around 100, and Circle's at around 100. So Circle is definitely in this kind of club of very high price earnings ratio, but these are big stocks. Like if you go back to these aren't like penny stocks, right? These aren't like some micro cap, small cap nonsense. I mean, Nvidia is the second largest stock in the world, right behind Microsoft, very close to Microsoft. And they have price and Nvidia's price earnings ratio of 40. In fact, I think Microsoft's price earnings ratio is pretty high, like at least 30. And Apple's probably 30 in price earnings ratio, so probably Amazon. Google, I think, was a little bit lower. Um, but then you
But
go down
I
to
mean, but what's the point of all that? We keep going over these different price to earnings ratios, and I still fail to see how they're important at all. Oh, did you lose me? Hello?
I'm sighing. Let out a deep sigh. Um, Go to Investopedia.
I mean, I understand the nuts and bolts of how you calculate it now, but if one company has a 500% price to earnings ratio and another one has a 14%, price to earnings ratio, and they're both solid investments, then I failed to see how that helps me with my decision whether or not to put my money there.
Okay, bear with me here.
I like how part of our show is just asking Grok to figure something out for us.
Well, this is how fuck. Is PE meaningful? I think this is important. We're going from zero to hero. If you're at zero and you don't know where to start, you need to start with asking Google and Grok and other AIs questions. Like I think this is valuable to our audience that we don't have. That
But it
this is
is useful. No, I agree.
this is how to do shit. This is how you figure shit out. Like this is us. Like I could have figured all this shit out beforehand and
Hmm.
just spoon fed the audience the information. Now I can teach a man to fish, or I can just give him some fish sticks. I'm teaching my audience how to fish. I don't want to just hand out fish sticks. And part of the way of teaching my audience how to fish is to fish right before their very eyes.
I like fish sticks.
Yeah. All right. So here's my stupid question. Let's see what the stupid answer is. Price earnings ratio is a key financial metric used to evaluate a company's valuation by comparing its current share price to its earnings per share. It's calculated as share price divided by earnings per share. This ratio helps investors assess whether a stock is overvalued, undervalued, or fairly priced. That's what I was trying to get at. To its earnings are compared to peers, industries, or the broader market. Again, that's what I was trying to get at. Below, I'll explain why the PE ratio is important, analyze the significant differences in PE ratios between First Solar, Palantir, and other large tech stocks, and discuss whether the PE ratio remains a meaningful metric given the wide spread. Why is the PE ratio important? Valuation benchmark. The PE ratio provides a snapshot of how much investors are willing to pay per dollar of the company's earnings. A higher PE suggests investors expect strong future growth, while lower PE may indicate undervaluation, slower growth expectations, or a mature business with stable earnings. It's widely used to compare companies within the same industry or against stock indices like the S&P 500, which has an average PE of 20 to 30 in 2025. Growth expectations. A high PE often reflects optimism about future earnings growth, as investors are willing to pay a premium for anticipated profitability. For example, tech companies with innovative products or disruptive potential often command higher price earnings ratios. A low PE might suggest limited growth prospects, undervaluation, or a cyclical industry with stable but less dynamic earnings. Investment decision making. Investors use price earnings to identify potential bargains, low PE, or overvalued stocks, the high PE. It helps compare companies across sectors or time periods, though it's most effective when combined with other metrics like revenue growth, profit margins, or debt levels. Risk assessment. A high PE can signal higher risk as it implies reliance on future growth that may not materialize. Conversely, a low PE might indicate a safer, more stable investment, but with less upside potential. A large spread, reflect differences in company characteristics, industry dynamics. I mean, a lot of this is like just AI slop, right? But like, First Solar is a solar panel manufacturing stock. It's a mature company and a capital intensive. I don't know. I don't really want to keep reading all this, but Jack, I mean, this would answer your questions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, I think that kind of captures it. Is that it helps to distinguish the difference between um, various companies as far as the investment in them goes.
Right. Like, um, businesses are cash engines, and when you're buying a share of stock, you're buying a percentage, a fractional share of ownership of that engine. And each engine makes a different amount of money, right? The amount of money they make is their bottom line, their profit, right? Like Circle is an engine that creates, um, what was it, $260 million a quarter or a year, actually. Yeah, a year. And a quarter only makes $64 million. So Circle is an engine that makes $240 million a year, and you can buy a piece of that engine at a valuation of $25 billion. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so it's an engine that for every dollar that it costs you to buy a piece of it, it creates 1 penny per year in profit. So that's 1%. It makes 1% profit for every dollar you invest. That's really bad.
But
But
there's an expectation of growth.
yes, the engine is getting bigger. And a good way to measure the growth of that engine of Circle is to go back to CoinGecko and go to the USDC market cap, which is different from the Circle stock market cap. This is the actual stable coins that they make. And we don't need the price action because the price action is always $1. Now I'm freezing up my phone here. Okay. Their market cap is 61. I need market cap is what I need. I need a market cap chart. Oh wait, let's see. Market cap. There we go. Market cap. Um, do this. Okay, so I'm looking at USDC. This is their price chart. I want to look at their market cap chart. Let me look at their market cap chart. Fuck. Let me try it on TradingView. Uh, Uh, USDC. This might be their market cap. 1.6, 1.36. Is that? Doesn't sound right. It's not right. What is this? This is US dollar versus Canadian dollar. It's not at all what I want. I want USDC. That's not what I wanted. I want USDC crypto cap right here. This is what I want. Perfect. Okay. Now we're looking at the stablecoin market cap. Okay. So this data goes all the way back to 2018. Right. That's yearly candles. Let's do quarterly candles. That gives you a more clear chart. Let's put it on logarithmic. Okay. So it's got a bunch of wicks to the downside there, but this is the USDC. Let's get it on the more monthly.
Just remember when you turn your phone sideways, it clips it from
Okay,
what we can
yeah.
see.
This. Let me just take it off of. So you can see that just bullish. Is let me get it off of the logarithmic. Okay. So you can see it started out low, and then even back here in 2020, it was in the hundreds of millions already. But it looks like it hovered around 200 million, 300 million, 400 million. This is the market cap of stablecoins, of USDC stablecoins. Um, and then getting into 2020 here, I think COVID hit in March, and that probably hit the market cap. Yeah, it went down to 200 million. Actually, it went down to 200,000. Holy crap. Let's zoom in on that. That's crazy. Let me zoom in. I can't. That's wild. Let's put it on the daily chart. Let's back this up here. I didn't know it. Okay, 2023, 22, 2020, 20. Okay. So here's the COVID crash. Look at the COVID crash, bro. It must have depegged or something. It crashed all the way down. Can you imagine?
Mm,
It must have depegged.
well, and where is that data being pulled from?
It's a good question. We're not going to worry about it right now, but this is from the COVID crash where everything went crazy. And then the market cap went from around, half a billion, quickly went to 1 billion in July of 2020, went up to 10 billion in March of 2021. And then as the bull market continued, the bull market topped in the end of 2021. So let me get back to not the daily chart. Let's at least go weekly. Okay, so the top is here in July. Is the stablecoin market cap looks like it topped in here in the summer of 2022. Okay, that would have been the crash already. So yeah, this is slightly after the top in Bitcoin. This is probably like probably the altcoin top around here, February of 2022. It was around 52 billion in market cap. And then it crashed all the way. I mean, it had a little bit higher top here, and then it gapped down and just crashed hard. So the bottom of the bear market for stablecoin USDC usage was all the way down to 23 billion from 52 billion. So it went down a little bit over 50%, which is not as bad as I thought it would have gone down more, but that's somewhat reasonable. And now we just, we're in new highs here. Like it's looking kind of toppy, but it probably will go more. I don't know. But from the bottom, the market cap of USDC went from 20, what's the very bottom here? About um, 23 billion. to so 61 billion. So like three, it didn't even 3x, like 2.5x, which is not actually not that impressive to me for the last year and a half. I mean, it's impressive for most like stocks. Like if so a bet on Circle the Stock, CRCL, is a bet that this chart will go up. Because this is the circled USDC market cap chart. Because the profit for Circle the Stock comes from the interest on the treasury bills that are purchased with Circle the stablecoin.
Which are purchased to mint more USDC. So
Yeah.
if the crypto market cap of USDC goes up, that means that they are then required to purchase more treasury bills to back
Yes.
that new supply of tokens,
Yeah.
which will increase the amount of money they make on that coupon.
Yes.
So
Yep.
on
Your
the
interest.
I call it the coupon, the all of the coupons combined, right? Like so,
Oh, that's a bond term. Coupon. What's that mean?
it's has to do with it's like the actual thing itself that you're holding on to. That's it's like the thing that the government gives you to signify that they're going to pay you some yield.
It sounds like the bond.
Well, it is. It's the part of but the bond is more than just the coupon. But yeah, it's the part that says here's what we're going to pay
Oh, so the bond, there's okay, yeah. What I don't know about the bond market is vast.
you. Yeah, and believe me, I'm not far ahead of you.
Like my knowledge of the bond market is it's denominated in USD and you earn 4 or 5% interest. And I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that's all I need to know
That's all I need to know. Yeah, I don't
because we
care.
don't have enough money to where that's enough.
Right, right. Like I
But
need to grow my.
hey, we are over our time, so I don't know if there's any other kind of fine point you want to put
Yeah,
on.
all I'm saying is that the price earnings ratio is already at 100. So it's already kind of expensive, and I think buying Circle now is risky in that it's a high price and the bear market comes, it's going to crash. It's going to crash probably more than 50%, just like it did last time. Um, I'm DCAing it. I'm probably going to lower the amount I'm DCAing it because I just think it's expensive and I'm not excited about it anymore. Having done this analysis live on our show,
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, it's not that great of a
Look at
deal.
that. It's even good for us to do this.
That's not doing it for nobody else. Nobody's watching. I'm doing it because I want to hang out with you, Jack.
Yeah,
Because
well, and for all the multitude of people that we will be helping in the future, of course.
I think we'll have to take some lessons on how to grow a YouTube following before we.
Oh, yeah, we could certainly stand to use some of that, and that's not really the point, though. I mean, like, we could do more if we really wanted to grow an audience. We're not doing so. That's not really the point, right? It's to hang out and talk about crypto, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
don't even
agree. I agree.
recording it. Yeah, I guess with the pipe dream that maybe it'll organically get 1 million followers and we can make money off of it.
Right? That'd be great. Be hanging out with Elio Trades and
Yeah,
Crown and Coin
honestly,
Bureau.
all we need to do is get crash course in how to increase there's like whole YouTube channels designed to teach you how to get a YouTube following
Yep. Yeah, I know.
and
I
lessons
know.
and courses you can take and AI and
And there's a, what do they call them when they come and put on a deal in person?
that's where they own you.
I don't know. There's always a deal where they're like, you see some scam where they're like, we're doing a seminar in
Yeah,
your hometown coming up on, please go ahead and show up. You can, for only, it's free to
$550.
attend. No, it'll
Yeah.
be free to attend, but some of the additional classes cost you some extra money. But anyways, yeah, hey, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there for now, unless again there's any other thing you want. We never even got to the Hayden Davis thing, but we can talk about that some other time.
Uh, camera, camera's getting frozen by Circle.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing is that Circle. Yeah, I guess we should let people know is not decent. I mean, it's
No,
completely centralized.
this
It's
is as centralized as it gets. This is a centralized corporation that owns a centralized stablecoin, and that even though it's deployed on some decentralized chains such as Ethereum and Solana, the tokens themselves are still centralized, even
and
though
and
they might exist
mutable.
on a centralized chain.
Yeah,
Even though
they
the USDC tokens themselves, the stablecoin tokens themselves, are still so centralized that Circle, the corporation, can freeze them on chain even on centralized chains such as Ethereum and Solana,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
which Hayden Davis found out the hard way, which is hilarious to me. But
It is. If you don't know Hayden Davis, go ahead and look it up. But yeah, hey, thanks for watching till the end, everybody. If you like the content, go ahead and give us a like. It helps to get it out there to more people. And consider subscribing, and then you'll get a notification when we go live next time. So thanks everybody for watching.